The Pittsburgh Steelers are in their final days of training camp here in Latrobe. They just had a huge win in Tampa, and I talked to some of the players, and they are ready for what's to come next.
I feel like it's going pretty well. We know as a defense we got to be vocal to be good. That's how the good defense stand in this league. So that's really just our main focus right now. Just keep on communicating, keep on getting the checks and everything like that.
Defensive lineman Cam Hayward tells me what the team is still working on leading up to the regular season games.
Continue to just keep getting better at the little things, whether it's tackling on defense, get more acquainted on offense with a lot of different personnel guys, but defense, we just got to continue to keep working on the communication.
The Black and Gold are gearing up for their next preseason game this Saturday against the Buffalo Bills at Acrisure Stadium. Just another chance for some players to get their spot on the roster. Out here in Latrobe, Natalea Hillen, KDK TV News. Hello everyone and welcome to CCAC Allegheny for the RSC Men's Championship matchup. We have number 1 Point Park University and number 2 St. Mary of the Woods. I am joined by Jacob Kubik and Matt Palangi, they're our analysts for tonight, and they're going to give their predictions and expectations for tonight's matchup. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dad. This is a huge matchup for both teams. We know obviously this is the championship game, but it means a little bit, it's something special for both. Point Park, they have not been in a conference championship since 2006. This is their 6th appearance. St. Mary of the Woods, this is only their 3rd year as a team. So, Jacob, what are you kind of looking out for tonight's matchup?
I mean, I think, obviously.
I am Natalea Hillen, and I am joined by Jillian Piccolino. The girls had a great game, 78-71 against St. Mary of the Woods this evening. So, Jillian, first, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You were the highest scoring player with 23 points. What was kind of going on your mind preparing for the game on and off the court?
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a really big game today. We had the same record in conference. We were tied for second on opposite sides. So we really knew this was going to be a big game. We were really focused, and we just knew we needed to pull out a win no matter what we had to do.
And I know it was kind of, the energy kind of shifted into the second half. I kind of saw from you guys. What kind of changed? What switched?
Yeah, we just talked about it in halftime. You know, we were down. We knew that we needed to make a run, and we were like, the energy needed to be picked up. We needed to pick up the energy on defense and offense, let our defense flow into our offense, and I think we did a good job of that.
And what kind of needs to be improved looking in upon matchups coming up?
I think starting out the first quarter the same way. We come out, and it's sometimes a little bit flat. I think we need to come out with the same intensity. We can't go on those droughts with not scoring. We need to be consistent in that, so just consistency in general.
And what are you most excited for leading up? I mean, playoffs are coming up soon. You guys are going to definitely be working hard on the court. What are you most excited for?
Yeah, we have a lot of big games coming up. I mean, the rest of our schedule they're pretty good teams, so I'm just excited. I love games like these, high intensity. The score is back and forth. The crowd's getting into it. I love that environment, and I think I'm most excited for that.
And you guys are playing IU Kokomo coming up?
Yes.
What are you going to be doing this week preparing for it?
Yeah, so it's a quick turnaround. We have 1 day of preparation, but I think the same thing. We're just going to be focused. We know we want to get another win, go 2-0 for the week. Just staying focused, and just focusing on the win.
Well, good luck and congratulations, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the season holds.
Thanks.
Point Park Baseball breaks out the lumber for a doubleheader, while softball travels to Indiana and Kentucky for the weekend. And track and field continues their season strong. The Pirates surge to a 9-3 start, while the Penguins keep their postseason hopes alive. The NCAA crowns 2 basketball champions, the MLB gets into the swing of things, and NFL hot stove continues to heat up. And what chaos awaits in the NHL's final week and the postseason? It's time to come on down to the Pioneer sideline. Men's basketball dominate Texas College, but fall to home crowd favorites. Men's and women's track and field return home from UNC Charlotte, and baseball and softball continue their winning ways. Madness is here as NHL and NBA continue on while MLB get ready for opening day. And who will be crowned the champions in March? It's time to come on down to the Pioneer sideline. Welcome back to Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Natalea Hillen. Number 8 seed Point Park University had a long road trip to Henderson, Tennessee on Wednesday to play in the first round of the NAIA National Championship against number 9 seed Texas College. The Pioneers played Friday evening and got the win 71-84. Point Park set a new school record for victories in a season and earned their first NAIA National Tournament win since the 2000-2001 season. Late in the first half, Point Park had an 18-point lead over Texas College, with Nate Van shooting a 3 for a 45-27 lead at the 2:02 mark. Texas College made a run to close out the half, but the Pioneers were still leading 46-34 at the break. Joe Valerie scored 17 points by halftime. He got 3 trays in the first 20 minutes and was 8 for 12 shooting in the first half. Jordan Stowe had a night by scoring 14 points and came on 3 for 3 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the arc, and 6 for 6 at the foul line. In the first half, Point Park shot 58%. In the second half, Valerie scored another 10 points, and Stamps put up 11 points and 6 assists. Point Park University Athletics is currently in the NAIA, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. Point Park announced back in early January that they accepted an invitation to be a part of the Division II Mountain East Conference. Over the past few months, the athletic department and coaches have been working to make sure the university has a smooth transition from the NAIA to the MEC. The Point Park women's basketball team has been preparing for it and finished their last season in the NAIA strong. The Pioneers went 19-9 overall and 11-6 in the River States Conference. Throughout the season, they had a mix of conference and non-conference matchups, practiced almost every day, had film and skill development. Junior 123, Emma Pavlik, tells me what she thinks of Point Park transitioning into the new division.
So I think the transition from going to NAIA to NCAA to the MEC conference, I think that's a huge leap. It's really excited for the school and the athletic programs. But when it comes to skill-wise and the ability of the team, I don't think it's going to be a huge leap for us in the way that we are playing right now.
Even before Point Park's MEC announcement, the Pioneers got a feel for what it would be like to have a matchup against an MEC team.
We already beat one of the top teams in that conference early in the season, West Virginia State, and that was a huge win for us. And that was, our first time playing a team from that conference this year, which is super exciting to know, hey, we already have a win under our belt by a team in that conference, and we haven't even gotten there yet. So, it's kind of like a, hey, this is Point Park, we already beat one of your teams, we're coming for you next year type of exciting atmosphere and feeling. It's just a different feel. NAIA has great talent, great teams, but you also have some teams that, aren't too great. When you move to the MEC, all the teams are good teams. All of those teams are Rios, which means that every single game that we play holds higher stakes than they do here.
Pavlik transferred to Point Park in her second semester of freshman year in 2022 from previous MEC University Alderson Broaddus. She came to be on the Point Park women's basketball team and track and field team.
I'm super excited because, like I said, I was at that school for one semester, so I got to play 5 games there. I got to know the teams. I got to scout all the teams.
Head coach of the Point Park women's basketball team, Dave Scarborough, joined as head coach in 2022 and has been rebuilding the women's program over the past 2 seasons. He played Division I basketball at Duquesne University and has years of coaching experience. He has coached at various universities in the area, such as Robert Morris and the University of Pittsburgh. Scarborough was excited when he saw Point Park with the MEC invite.
I love where I'm at Point Park, but the progression is like, all right, NAI head coach, get your foot in the door and make 1,000 mistakes, still try to keep your job. And that's that kind of next jump would be a Division II position. And I don't even have to move, or do anything. So for me personally, super excited about it.
Coach Scarborough says going to Division II makes recruitment better and the travel time to matchups will be less. Now that when potential student athletes see that Point Park is Division II, they are immediately responding. At Point Park, a full-time compliance position will be monitoring each team and making sure they are following the specific rules. There is a new eligibility center that athletes have to get cleared through, similar to play NAIA, but more comprehensive.
But having been at Division I for a long time, it's kind of the same rules. So I'm pretty prepared for our program to make this jump.
The team follows the general rules of only practicing a certain number of hours a week and getting a day off. Going into the Division II NCAA, there are periods where coaches can go to high school and AAU games, and there are periods where they can't. With NAIA, the coaches were able to go to any tournament at any time to scout. Dave tells me what the biggest change is going to be. One of those changes includes losing 2 key players, Jillian Piccolino and Gabby Legister, who were both previously playing Division I basketball at Kennesaw State.
We lose Jillian and Gabby scoring, but we have plenty of firepower. We'll add a couple kids here throughout the spring and summer to still have a great product on the court for next year.
In the new division for next year, the women's team will be able to compete in the MEC Conference Championship. However, if they were to win, they will not be allowed to play in the NCAA tournament for 2 to 3 years. With college basketball in off-season right now, the women's team is playing pickup and weightlifting at North Shore Gym Union Fitness to stay in shape and get ready for the 2024-2025 season in the Mountain East Conference. To stay updated on all women's basketball, keep an eye out for the MEC schedule on pointparksports.com. Men's and women's soccer enter conference play in fashion. Volleyball and esports take a couple of tough losses. Some of the biggest high school football matchups in the region. The Dolphins score 70 points and the Commanders only score 3. And who is to blame for the Steelers' subpar offense? It's time to come on down to the Pioneer sideline. Baseball, softball, and track and field continue their season strong. Are the Bucks really back? And are the Penguins' playoff hopes fading? And who will make a splash in the NBA playoffs? It's time to come on down to the Pioneer sideline. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Natalea Hillen. The Point Park University baseball team traveled to Ohio last week for a 2-game series against Lourdes University. The Pioneers won both games. The score of Game 1 was 11-7, and Game 2 ended with a final score of 20-4. This past weekend, the Pioneers traveled to Ohio to play against Shawnee State for a 3-game series. Point Park fell to the Bears in Game 1, 11-7. On Saturday, Point Park won both games. The final score of Game 1 was 18-4, and Game 2 ended with a final score of 17-5. In Game 1 on Saturday, the Pioneers had control throughout. In the first inning, Point Park scored 7 runs. Jared Campbell led the way, going 3 for 6 with a homer, double, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. On the other hand, Jordan Campbell was 2 for 5 with a homer and 4 RBIs. Macaulay Brito had a 3-run homer in the second inning, and at the top of the fourth, Jordan Campbell got an RBI single, and Omar Murillo had a base hit which drove in 2. Luis Gonzalez was 2 for 4 as he blasted a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. Isaac Santana went 2 for 4 with a double, RBIs, and 2 runs. On the pitching side, Ramon Rodriguez striked out 9, walked 1, and scattered 4 runs and 8 hits. The final score was 18-4.